Welcome back to Deck Tech for Decks. I'm your host Caleb, and we are continuing the series where we talk about the Power 9 in each different color, and today we are talking about the black cards. Before we get into it, make sure to click on all of those links in the description down below. There's a whatnot link that nets you a free $15. You guys can get 10% off all of your Tolarian Library proxies. So super excited to announce I'm now partnering with Baron of Dice to bring your TCG accessories to the next level. These deck boxes are put simply just eye-catching. I'm obsessed with the leather exterior on these. It just makes the art look super unique, and that's what you're looking for whenever you're trying to show off your deck. The playmats are also super high quality. They have a non-slip backing along with hand-stitched edges featuring that eye-popping art drawn by legendary artists in the space like Ron Spencer. They're also giving me a 5% discount code for all of you guys in the audience. Again, thank you Baron of Dice for sponsoring this channel. Now let's get right into the video. The first card I want to talk about is Opposition Agent. This card is incredibly salt-inducing and incredibly powerful at the same time. This is a 3 CMC creature that has flash, and it says you control your opponents while they're searching their libraries. While an opponent is searching their library, they exile each card they find. You may play those cards for as long as they remain exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast them. So this is just a creature that sits on the battlefield. It locks everybody out from tutoring, and then whenever you cast it, 9 times out of 10 a tutor is on the stack, so it at least gets to tutor up something. This is also just really broken against lands, right? Because a lot of people play those very powerful fetch lands, and fetch lands search libraries. This means you can effectively lock people out of playing the game if they only have fetch lands in their hand. And this card can be played as soon as turn 1 with something as simple as a Dark Ritual. It's super salty to play against, especially in CDH. If you've ever seen it turn 1 in response to your fetch land, you just kind of cry. The next card I want to talk about is Orcish Bowmasters. This is a 2 CMC creature Orc Archer. It has flash, and when Orcish Bowmasters enters the battlefield, and whenever an opponent draws a card except the first card they draw each turn, Orcish Bowmasters deals 1 damage to any target, and then you get to amass 1 orc. Not only does this make a massive creature, it also just keeps all 1/1s off of the battlefield. Then whenever you introduce will strategies into the mix, this can just straight up kill a player, right? If everybody is drawing a total of 7 cards, you're going to get to deal a total of 21 damage straight to someone's face. It's just not okay. And then again, you still have that orc on the battlefield that just got 21 counters put on it. And what's cool about amass is the first orc that enters the battlefield doesn't have summoning sickness anymore, right? So 9 times out of 10, the turn you deal 21 damage to someone's face with that wheel, you can also hit them with 21 damage with a massive orc you control. Kind of messed up there, and also it's just really oppressive, keeps all the 1/1s off the board. Demonic Tutor. Now there is a ton of tutors that could have been in this slot, but I went with Demonic Tutor. It's just so clean. 2 mana, you get to grab it and put it right into your hand. Now I do have some honorable mentions. Honestly, this could have just been a list of the most powerful tutors in black. Maybe that's another list for another time, but I did want to go over a couple. Vampiric Tutor. Search your library for a card, then shuffle your library and put that card on top. You lose 2 life. Very powerful. Imperial Seal's the same thing, but it's at sorcery speed, so a little bit less powerful, but the redundancy here is kind of insane. You even have Rezaket. This is an 8 CMC creature that you pay 2 life to sacrifice a creature, then tutor for a card and put it into your hand. Now you're never ever paying 8 mana for this. You're normally just entombing, reanimating it, and then tutoring whatever you need to win the game. Wishclaw Talisman also makes this list. Very useful cards. Let's move on though. The next card I want to talk about is Reanimate. This card is absolutely insane. For 1 mana, you get to put target creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, and then you lose life equal to that creature's mana value. So it just cheats something into play super early, which is some of the most powerful things you can do in Magic. Toxic Deluge is an amazing board wipe. This is a 3 CMC sorcery that says as an additional cost to cast this spell, you get to pay X life, and then all creatures get -X until end of turn. This can be very useful kind of as a one-sided board wipe because you get to choose the power. It also always gets rid of the problem, right? You don't have to get rid of everything on the board, but you can always get rid of whatever you need to get off the board. It's just super flexible, and then it's only 3 mana, so for the cost, it's kind of insane. Ad Nauseam. This card is insane. Now, this is a huge build around, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do in EDH. It's a 5 CMC instant that says reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. You lose life equal to the converted mana cost. You may repeat this process any number of times. So people try to make a deck with 1.5 average CMC, 2 CMC, and then they're just going to flip over like 20 plus cards, then they're going to find a way to piece a win together once they do that. Again, just super busted stuff here. Speaking about busted stuff, we have Demonic Consultation and Tainted Pack. Both of these kind of do the same thing, and by themselves, they're not very powerful, but they work with the most powerful card in the game, Thassa's Oracle. So I had to include them on the list. Essentially, both of these are going to allow you to exile your entire library. So in response to the Thassa's Oracle ETB, you either cast Tainted Pact or you cast Demonic Consultation, get rid of your entire library, and then just straight up win the game. They're also flexible on their own, right? Demonic Consultation has been cast to kind of find a counterspell whenever you need to stop an opponent from winning, because this card says, choose a card name, exile the top 6 cards of your library, then reveal a card from the top of your library until you reveal a card with the chosen name, put that card into your hand, then exile other cards revealed this way. Now this is a Hail Mary if ever I've seen one, but I've seen it win people games, so we gotta mention the fact that it can be used as that kind of, I need a counterspell, I'm gonna counter his thing so he doesn't win. Tainted Pact also kind of does something like that, but it's just better, right? You get to exile the top card of your library. You may put that card into your hand unless it has the same name as another card exiled this way. Repeat this process until you put a card into your hand or you exile 2 cards with the same name, whichever comes first. So essentially you're revealing the top card of your library until you find what you need and you put it into your hand. This one's a lot better than Demonic Consultation, because Demonic Consultation, you have to find that card you name. Tainted Pact, a lot more flexible, but also if we're talking about win cons here, Demonic Consultation costs 1 whole less mana. So in the sense that you're just trying to exile your entire deck to win with Thassa's Oracle, I think Demonic Consultation's a little bit more powerful, but Tainted Pact is going to get a win on the flexibility because you don't have to find that exact card. You can just kind of rifle through your deck till you find whatever piece you need and put it into your hand. Bolas' Citadel is also just absolutely insane. It's a 6 CMC legendary artifact that says you may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play the top card of your library. If you cast a spell this way, you pay life equal to its current inverted mana cost rather than paying its mana cost. You can also tap it to sacrifice 10 non-land permanents, and each opponent is going to lose 10 life. Now this has a very popular combo with Aetherflux Reservoir and Sensei's Divining Top. Sensei's Divining Top allows it to tap it, you draw a card, and then you put Sensei's Divining Top on top of your library, and then Aetherflux Reservoir gains you progressively more and more life. This means once you cast the top, you gain 1 life, and then 2 life, and then 3 life, and then you're able to draw your entire library that way and kind of cast your entire library with Bolas' Citadel, because the only limiting factor on Bolas' Citadel once you get past the life with Aetherflux Reservoir is the fact that if you run into too much lands, you aren't able to play an infinite amount of lands, right? So the top gets all the lands off of the top of your library. Just an incredibly powerful card here. Another incredibly powerful card is Necropotence. This is a 3 CMC enchantment that says skip your draw step. Whenever you discard a card, exile that card from your graveyard, and then you can pay 1 life to exile the top card of your library face down, put that card into your hand at the beginning of the next end step. This card is particularly very powerful whenever you pair it with Blue's flash enablers, like Born Upon the Wind gives everything in your hand flash. So what you do is you just pay as much life as you can into Necropotence, sculpt the perfect 7 to win the game, and then make sure Born Upon the Wind is one of those 7s in your hand. Then you can cast Born Upon the Wind, do Thassa's Oracle, and Demonic Consultation at instant speed. That's going to do it for the list today, but I do have one more honorable mention for you that I had to mention, Yawgmoth's Will. This card has kind of been power crept out by Underworld Breach, but it's still a very, very powerful card. It's 3 CMC sorcery that says until end of turn, you may play cards in your graveyard as though they were in your hand. Cards put into your graveyard this turn are removed from the game instead. And that's kind of why this is a little bit weaker than your Underworld Breach effects, because no matter what you cast, it's going to get exiled. So you can't do casting the same spell over and over again while getting rid of the useless spells, you know, the stuff that Underworld Breach does, but it still does allow you to get access to your graveyard for an entire turn. So maybe you have some rituals in there, maybe you have some tutors in there, you're able to cast your tutors, and 9 times out of 10 you can kind of piece a win together with this card, but again, Underworld Breach is just better and more consistent. With that being said, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.